Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you have had a wonderful and amazing week. So, thanks again for those who are tuning in here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from today. Hopefully, I will be able to see the chat. I never know, y'all, with technology. um, but for those of you all, again, tuning in here, let me know where you're tuning in from. For those of you who are new, I reside in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. I am a psychologist, author, and speaker, and host of Mental Health Moment with Dr. Hammond. And also will be traveling quite a bit, the next couple of weeks, but I will still be here on Mental Health Moment with you all. I'll just be in a lot of different cities over the next couple of weeks. But nonetheless, thanks so much for tuning in here. For those of you who are brand new to Mental Health Moment is essentially about how do you work on becoming the best version of who you are so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for those around you. Really important, right? So that's what we do every single week. We are here diving into different topics, different ways that you can improve your life and improve your overall well being. So before I get started today on today's mental health moment, I do want to share excitedly want to share that next week, you guys, I cannot believe it. So crazy. Time has flown by. But next week, September 10th, will be officially when my next book is going to be released. I am so excited. It's been years in the making, literally, and super excited to share it. But so this is the last week to pre-order though the book. So the book is Mindset Training, Conquer Your Mind, and the Rest Will Follow. It's on it is on walmart.com, it's on barnesandnoble.com, booksamillion.com. Those are some of the common places. There's a couple other book outlets, but they're on major book retailers such as Barnes and Noble, Walmart, and Books a Million. So you can always pre-order it there. And then if you go to mindsettrainingbook.com, and you put in your confirmation code, then there are some pre-order bonuses that I have for you all. But again, the pre-order window is literally, this is the last week, you guys. So September 10th, it's officially out, which is crazy. And for those of you obviously who pre-ordered, as soon as September 10th hit, then those bookstores will be obviously shipping you all the books. So that's how that works. And thanks again for your support. By the way, I know there's many of you because you've been reaching out. And some of you were at the summit, the virtual summit a couple weeks ago. I want to genuinely thank you for your support as well through this process. And thank you for your purchase of the book or a couple books for you and your friends. So very appreciative. Thank you for that. And thank you again for continuing this journey of your own wellness and mental health. So on today's mental health moment, essentially, I wanted to talk to you all today about this concept. Maybe some of you have heard of it before, but it's called a gratitude anchor. And what that means is that, so many of you probably have heard before how great gratitude is. That's actually, anyway, something I talk about in the book as well, because it's a huge thing that is amazing for your mindset. And there's a lot of ways you can use gratitude for your mental health and wellness. But one of the things with a gratitude anchor, for example, is there's multiple ways you can do this, but you can either physically have an object that reminds you to be grateful. So for some people, it might be like, I don't know, like a bracelet, or it might be something like a physical object you could hold in your hand, a lucky object or something like that, or something that's sentimental to you that reminds you to think about gratitude and to think about things that you're grateful for. Because a lot of times, our minds go to things we're worrying about, what's happening in the news, what's happening maybe with our friends and family, what's happening in our own life. Like we can really be on a different mindset than we need to be sometimes. And sometimes we just need to reset and get back to a place where we can recognize what we're grateful for too. So the gratitude anchor again is having a physical object, or if you don't have a physical object or you don't want to use a physical object to kind of jog your brain and remember what you're grateful for, you can also use a memory of yours. So when I think about for myself personally, if I were to do this, when I think about positive memories, a lot of them are a lot of them are on vacations actually, and just because I really love nature, just beautiful landscapes, beautiful uh, mountains, beautiful beaches, and just different places that have been really special and calming for me personally. And it may not be nature for you, but whatever it is for you, like a really positive, good memory, you can also tell yourself, okay, when I think about this particular place or this situation or this positive memory, every time I think about that, I'm going to remember what I'm grateful for. And what you can do, and this is not an overnight process, you all, as I always tell you all, I'm a tough moment. But what you can do over time is you start to train your brain. It having an anchor is like, well, like obviously what an anchor is, right? For a boat, like it anchors it in. You're not going to where you're locked in. It's the same thing that you can do mentally. Again, you can use this with a physical object like a bracelet or something else. Every time you see that bracelet, for example, you're like, okay, let me take a moment, let me focus back on gratitude. Or again, going to that really joyous occasion, really positive memory in your brain. Maybe, like I said, let's say it was a beach for you. Now, the positive memory, when you think about that, you go, okay, let me take a minute today, or like, let me take a moment today to get back to that place of gratitude. And what that does, what gratitude does, is it doesn't make all your problems go away, if only, but it allows your brain to reset. It allows your brain to get into a state of recharging. It allows your body to, when you focus on positive things, like things you're really grateful for, it also allows your body to get into a calmer state too, which was interesting. I was actually talking today on a podcast interview I had. We were literally talking about this, about how we need to not always be in fight or flight mode and like try to get our brains and our bodies back into calmer spaces. And one of the ways you can do that is through gratitude, is through a gratitude anchor, actually. So remembering to have that physical object or that memory or positive situation to continue to go back to that as often as you can. So today's topic again is the gratitude anchor. Now, what I want to say is there are a lot of different ways to utilize gratitude. I would highly recommend at some in some form that you utilize gratitude. So you probably heard of a gratitude jar before. My family and I actually started that this year. We need to get back to putting our little post-it notes of what we're grateful for in there. But we started that at the end of the year. I mean, at the beginning of the year. And there's gratitude journals, which you know about. There's electronic journals. There's things you can write down. There's a lot of different ways to practice gratitude as one of the things to help your mental health and wellness. And also, as I mentioned today, there's the gratitude anchor. So again, one of the things I will say when it comes to your mental health and wellness is there's a lot of things you can try. You're either going to be like, yep, this is for me, I'm keeping this one in my toolkit, or you try it and you're like, nope, it didn't work for me, and that's okay. This is not where we're different, we're human. We all have different interests, we all have different things that work for us, but try different things at least, right, for your wellness, and then say, you know what, this one's no, this one's a no, or this one's a yes, I'm going to keep it. And thanks again for those who are still starting to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. So let me know in the chat for those of you, well, now that I can actually see the chat, let me know today though, like one thing that you feel like you're really grateful for today. So let me know, put them in the chat, one thing that you are grateful for. And while you're doing that, what I will say about gratitude also is, and there's no right or wrong to this, but it's also important when you think about things that you're grateful for to think about different things that you're grateful for as well. Because it's easy if every day you were saying like, I'm grateful for my life, my family, friends. Like those are very common things. There's nothing wrong with that. Please be grateful for those things. But also, what else? Like allow your brain to expand on the idea of gratitude. When you start to come up with really unique things, it's actually a pretty cool exercise because you're like, man, I have a lot to be grateful for, right? So when I do my gratitude practice each morning, which some of you all know about already, for those of you who are not new to mental health moment, but when I do that each morning, I'm literally finding a very unique thing that's happened usually in the last couple of days or about to happen a couple days before. So I try to keep it within about a week window, but and I don't write them down. I might start writing them down. I've been doing it more mentally, but they're always different things. So I've been doing that for the last couple of years here. So there's over 100 things because I start with one every morning. I'm like, okay, what's one thing that I'm really grateful for, right? So my point is, when you do things like that, when you practice gratitude and you start to find it could be something small that counts too. It could be something huge. Like it doesn't matter the size of whatever it is that happened, but your brain starts to expand on the idea that you live an abundant life, whatever that may look like for you, that you have a lot of things to be grateful for. And in the times which will come, it just is what it is. It's life. And the times that are harder, the times of disappointment, the times of anger, the times of despair, all those times that will come at some point when you try to cling to the gratitude, it can help you be one of the things that helps you to get through. And no, like I said, doesn't take away all your problems. I wish that would be a magic wand, which I don't have yet. One of the things I'm glad you brought that up because one of the things about health is that we often take that for granted. A lot of times we take that for granted. Please be grateful wherever you're at and the fact that you're alive and watching this, listening to this right now is definitely something to be grateful for. And that's something that we often uh, don't think about as often as we probably should because life is definitely a gift. So thank you for mentioning that. I love it. Well, and again, there's not a right or wrong with the practice of gratitude, but again, finding that anchor, finding that thing that will continue to remind you to be grateful, to continue to practice your gratitude in the way that works best for you. And again, gratitude is two ways. It's feeling gratitude for things you have to be grateful for and also expressing your gratitude to whomever it is that you need to express your gratitude to and the forms that work best for you. When we think about things that we're grateful for, we think about the external things around us, which again, nothing wrong with that, right? We might think about again the external things but also like internally like your own growth as a person, right? That's a great thing to be grateful for, you all. And please, 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 I always say this though, for those of you who are not new to mental health moment, please celebrate the small wins too. So some of you because I can see your names and where you're tuning in from. You have been tuning in for a really long time to mental health moment. Thank you very much for you. um but celebrate the small wins too. Like there's so much you can add to your toolkit. There's so many things. We have the ups and downs in life. Celebrate the small wins too. Please celebrate your growth, especially when it comes to your mindset, especially when it comes to you growing physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, all of it. Right? Celebrate and give yourself credit for that. And also, before I wrap up here on today's mental health moment, I do want to give a shout out. Some of you may know her personally, or not personally, but may have seen her on social media. But the founder of this platform, Black Women Powered Incorporated, is Dr. Jacqueline King, who I had the honor of seeing a couple weeks ago. She hosted the President's Lifetime Achievement Award banquet, if you will, for us in Fayetteville, Georgia, for a group of us. And she's just such a phenomenal person. Like, she's such a great human being. She's so phenomenal. She's done so much with this platform, you all. So if you all have seen her on the platform, Dr. Jacqueline King, or you connect with her on social, make sure that you also reach out to her and be thanking her for BWE, for the fact that this platform exists and she allows mental health to be a huge part of this. And I mean, all the other contributors as well in different spaces, spiritually growing, mentally growing, like physically growing, like because it really just does take you all tuning in and working on yourselves in order for us to grow, right? To grow as a community, to grow for yourself, but also to grow for your community. So shout out to Dr. Jacqueline King today. And again, if you see her on social media, make sure you give her a big thank you, because she does a lot behind the scenes for this platform to exist and help millions of people in the world globally. So make sure to give her her flowers, and make sure to give her a thank you as well. Okay. So, so that's what I hope that you practice this week. Going back to mental health moment, make sure, speaking of gratitude, make sure you practice finding some sort of gratitude anchor. So again, for those of you who tuned in a little bit late, gratitude anchor it could be a physical object like a bracelet or a lucky object, or whatever it is for you that you see often to remind you to go back to a state of gratitude, especially on harder days. Or it could be a memory. So whatever positive memory, whatever joyous time, just thinking about that. For me, a lot of joyous memories are in beautiful places, like beautiful places throughout the world, or oceans or mountains, or those sorts of like just very beautiful calming spaces. Those are positive memories for me. So whatever it is for you, though, that memory or that physical object or whatever it is that you need, try to, when you think about it or when you see it, make sure you connect with, okay, what am I grateful for right now in this moment? Because doing that really starts to reset your brain. When I started, I think it's been 2 years now, I'm losing track of time, y'all. But when I started my morning gratitude practice, which I told you all about earlier, it is, I mean, really life-saving to wake up and the first thing to be thinking about, what are you grateful for? It's just a different way to start the day, which is great. Highly would recommend it, but also it puts you in a different mindset. And it helps you with perspective. So practice that this week. And again, make sure that you go to mindsettrainingbook.com and pre-order your copy. Well, actually, you have to pre-order your copy on the online retailers like Walmart, Barnes and Noble, or Books a Million. But once you do that and pre-order the book, then you can go to mindsettrainingbook.com and put in your confirmation code and collect some bonuses as well. But mindset training, Conquer Your Mind, and the rest will follow. It will be out, I cannot believe it, next week, you all. September 10th is the official release. Oh, and by the way, yes, I will be on next week on September 10th. Actually, we will be celebrating together, because next week is the official launch date of which happens to fall on a Tuesday, which is pretty cool. So I can celebrate with you guys on Mental Health Moment, but we'll be celebrating next week. But make sure you grab your copy, pre-order your copy. And again, thank you guys for the love. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for the messages. You guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. So yeah, I'm trying to think. I think those are all my announcements for now. Oh no, I have one more announcement. So for those of you, okay, I'm trying to make this a short announcement. For those of you who did attend the virtual summit a couple weeks ago, the Mindset Growth and Self-Care Summit, the replay of that will be available the end of this week, I believe. So check your emails if you went to that. If you didn't attend that and you're like, what in the world am I even talking about? One of the bonuses to pre-order the book is the replay of that. So it was about it was a half day. So a 4-hour summit that we did, which really beautiful, amazing individuals, all speakers that I know and love and adore. And they gave a lot of really insightful information about how do you grow your mindset? How do you work on the challenges in your life? How do you work on growing through those things? How do you work on your self-care? How do you work on holistically bettering yourself? Right? That's what the whole summit was about. But I know some of you attended. So again, check your email if you did attend. If you didn't attend, but needed a copy of the replay, mindsettrainingbook.com has all the information, and that's one of the bonuses to get that information as well. So, okay, I think that's my last my last announcement for you all. But again, have an amazing rest of your week until next week, and I will be back. Be well. Have a great week. Practice your gratitude anchors, and I'll see you next time.